Hi everybody, it's Dr. Cary Yurkiw here. I'm the founder of True North Practice Management. Welcome to today's live stream on doubling your practice and reducing your expenses in the next year. Many of my clients are asking about increasing their practice revenues and decreasing their expenses. And today we want to talk about that. There's a number of ways you can do that, and the idea and the game plan behind it is really important because now's the time to start thinking about that. We're in the final days of 2022 and looking forward to 2023. You want to make a plan now so that when you get to January, you can hit the road running. You can have some momentum going forward. And right now it's about planning. How are you going to plan for the next 365 days? And what can you do to increase your revenue? And one of the things that I like to look at is, just how have you done it this year? So where has the growth been this year? And then how can you expand on that? So that's the easiest way, is just to look at what you've done really well with this year and then expand on that. But then you might need some new ways to grow as well. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that today. So follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So please follow me there at True North PM. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and our podcast because we're constantly uploading new videos, live streams on there. And then new to our portfolio is Twitter Spaces. So we've been hosting some Twitter Spaces. I think this is going to be really good on our Twitter channel at True North PM. So please follow me there as well. So lesson number 1, getting ready for growth. So now's the time to start thinking about that. And what do you want to do to get ready for your growth? So let's take a look at your practice. Where has your revenue stream come from? Most likely it's come from new clients. So you definitely want to grow your new clients. If you had 50 new clients this year, to double your practice, you're going to need 100 next year. If we just wanted to use a simple metric like that. There's more to it, but that's a good place to start. You could also look at your reactivations. If you're an established practice that's been around for a while, how many reactivations did you have this year? You need to double that for next year. So just kind of put that metric into place. You're going to set your goals on doubling that, and how can you do that? If you sent out a mailer every quarter, you sent out an email, you might need to do that more frequently, like monthly this year, just to keep people posted on what's going on in your clinic. You might also want to do more social media. If you posted once a week, you might want to post twice a week. So it's a very simple way to think about growth and ways to attract people to your practice. So that's a really good place to start. We can dig into the details. Often with my clients, I like to look at their income statements and their revenue streams. Where are those streams coming from? What services are they offering? How many practitioners do they have? And then what products are they selling, and how many products are doing well and which ones aren't, and what are some trends in their profession where they could bring in some new products and some new revenue streams. Lesson number 2, you want to double your new patients and reactivations. We talked about that. Lesson number 3, support growth with changes inside your practice. So this is very important. Often what I've seen is professionals doubling their new patient numbers or the reactivations, and then they can't support that. So they get a lot of new clients and they give poor service, and people go away again or leave bad reviews. So it's important that you talk to your staff about how to support the increased volume that you're going to get. Now, one of the ways is you can get your staff to work more hours. You could get your staff to work more efficiently. You could hire new staff to help. You can automate processes with some software. So take a look at all of those things, and that is something that I do with my clients here at True North, is digging into some of the details of how to make their systems more efficient, because I'm all about efficiency, keeping things nice and simple, easy for the staff and the professionals so that they can do a good job. They can let their skills shine. So that's what we want to do. Number 4, cutting your expenses. So this is important. And going through your expense sheet, and that could be, you know, some of the dynamic costs that you have, things that you can control and things that you can start to cut or start to modify. So go through your expense sheet. Anything that's fixed cost, we're not going to worry about that right now. If you've signed a 5-year lease and you're 2 years into it, you can't do much about that right now. But when you get closer to the 5-year term in the 4th year, we can talk about that. But also, you want to look at things like recurring expenses. Are you getting the value out of those recurring expenses? And that could be marketing, that could be software, that could be other services that are being provided to your clinic. So cleaning services, accounting services. Take a look at those expenses and then dig into those. So kind of highlight maybe the top 5 categories right now of expenses that are variable costs, and then start to look at the general ledger where you're spending money on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, and look at those items and see what you can modify or change, and which ones need to modify and change. So really start making some changes there. It's going to cut down on your expenses for next year, and you're going to have better cash flow. So that's going to help with your increased revenue from doubling your practice. And lesson number 5 is obstacles to growth. So often what I see as far as obstacles with my clients is maybe they think about the plan, but they don't take any action. So they talk about it, but nothing gets written down, nothing gets kind of solidified. So the first step is think about this with your business partners, and then sit down with your staff and actually put a plan together and say, here's what I want to accomplish. How can you help me? Start itemizing. And then follow up with that, even if it's weekly staff meetings, and say, okay, what are we doing in these areas? And assign people responsibilities to those projects. And so that's going to help to get some traction. And once you get some traction and you keep working on those things, it will materialize as the weeks and months go on in 2023. So start that process now, follow through, and then have some accountability on a weekly basis by doing a staff meeting with your staff. Obstacles to cutting expenses. Sometimes clinics are reluctant to cut expenses. Maybe they have a good relationship with the vendor. Maybe they're concerned about how it could affect the practice. Maybe they're concerned about the increased workload if they cut some of the expenses. So sit down with the parties involved, sit down with your staff, sit down with the vendor, talk openly with them, and talk about what you'd like to accomplish. Is there a way that they can help you to get that done? And that could be changing the type of service you're getting suggestions from the vendor on what else they could do to help you. So really have an open dialogue and then make some decisions. And ultimately, it's business. Everybody's going to understand what you're going through because they have similar issues to what you have. And then lesson number 6 is the final result and summary. So you want to do some tracking on this. And what I mean by that is you want to have some numbers. Sometimes clinics don't have numbers or they're not paying attention to their numbers. So make sure that you have some numbers that you can follow. That would be your new patient numbers, your reactivation numbers. You want to look at your revenue and expenses on a monthly basis minimum. You want to also be tracking statistics like patient visits, the average collected per visit. So you really want to have a good handle on how these changes are affecting your practice on a weekly and monthly basis. So know those numbers. If you're not good with numbers, have somebody that can help you with that, somebody assigned to that, maybe your bookkeeper to help you, but there's a lot of people that are good at numbers, and have them give you a summary and let you know how things are going. So that's another thing that is very important during this process. I'm developing a mini course right now. It's going to be 6 modules. I'm using Kajabi for it. And the 6 modules are going to be similar to this, but just broken down into more detail. So if you want to know more about how to get more new patients, I'm going to talk about that. how to get more reactivations. We're going to discuss that. And then at the end of that module, 6 modules, I'm going to offer a consultation. So if you want a 20-minute free consult on how to implement this for your practice, please let me know. You can type in the comments here or DM me mini course if you're interested, and I'll put you on the waiting list for that. If you're interested in a free consult, type in consult, and I'll get back to you on when those are available. And then I can work with you to increase your practice, decrease your expenses, and have a better year in 2023. So thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate you guys being here. I like doing these live broadcasts on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We do them at 9:30 Pacific, 12:30 Eastern Time, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon.